Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Session Zero Heroes podcast. My name is Skyler, but today my name doesn't really matter that much because today I get to play in a game of Monster of the Week as we are narrated and led by special guest Game Master Nate Vajgrt. I said it right?
Yes, you did.
Nailed it. Awesome. And he's going to be leading this special Halloween special, I said special twice, Halloween special one-shot of Monster of the Week for us this Halloween season. So sit back and enjoy as we get into the spookier zone. I can't say the Twilight Zone. That's already been done. The spookier zone of the holiday season. Nate, take it away.
Hey, everybody. I'm glad to be here. Glad to get to run stuff. I've played with a few of you guys in our dino-themed one-shot and really enjoyed it. I'm a big fan of Monster of the Week and Powered by the Apocalypse in general, so I'm looking forward to it. So as I told our characters, and as I'm, just opening for any of you, the listeners, this is going to be a pretty PG podcast. Yeah. Our players are playing tweenagers, whatever you interpret that as, out to trick or treat. So we're going to let our characters introduce themselves. They were given pre-made character sheets that were made using the online resources of Monster of the Week, a really cool resource that I got from the evilhat.com. Nice. I don't know if I should plug or not, but sure. They have all of the Monster of the Week resources. So if you do want to dabble in this after listening to the various things, there's a whole bunch of resources to jump into. That's just the one I happen to use when I need my online stuff. So I'm going to introduce our characters really briefly, and then I'll let their players take it away with some of the more personal details they have. So our first character I'm going to introduce is Alex. Alex is a religious youth who embodies a heroic spirit. They believe that they have been chosen to protect the innocent and champion the cause of good against any malevolent forces that may threaten their friends. So, Alex, if you want to really quickly tell us what your trick-or-treating costume is.
Yeah, I had one idea, and then you said I was really religious, and I'm like, okay, hold on. Because I was originally thinking, he's really into old, sci-fi stuff.
I thought you were going to say, old religious icons.
He's going to do RoboCop, but now you say religious.
It'd actually be funnier to see Pastor RoboCop.
I was going to say, I swear you were going to say, Bill Gaither or something like that.
There's the most obscure
Any character from VeggieTales.
Wow.
That would be hilarious.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, Bible Man. Just be Bible Man.
I was thinking a knight, so if I was Bible Man, I
put on the sword of the Spirit.
I actually love that idea. I'm Bible Man. And if no one knows who Bible Man is.
Is that because that's the only costume your parents would let you have?
Yes. He wanted to be a superhero. He likes comics, but they never wanted him. But
he have comics,
but he has to secretly read them because they only give him the Bible Man comics. So that's what he reads when they're around, but when it's late at night under the sheets, he's reading his Spider-Man, his Batman. He really likes Daredevil.
Daredevil interesting. Comics. But devils would never.
Which is
just
funny.
The word devil in there.
That's part of the reason why that drew him to it. It said devil in it, and I was like, ooh. And he started reading, and he's like, hey, this isn't that bad. It's
my gosh.
He was expecting Hellraiser or something.
Hellboy.
Hellboy. Yeah, when he saw it, he's expecting Hellboy.
Yeah.
But no, it's just a dude who's blind. He's like, oh, this is sick, right?
He's got cool powers.
So Bible Man's basically Daredevil, but with vision. So
okay,
and he can.
He's Batman. He's with a
Christian lightsaber.
Undertone.
You're right. He's Batman with a lightsaber.
So just to be clear, your characters literally all your weapons and such are literally going to be just Bible Man stuff. So you literally
I've got the cheap
looking
plastic armor, the cheap plastic shield, everything, and the cheap Bible Man lightsaber, which is basically your typical toy lightsaber, but it's just I think it's purple. Because his whole suit's a purplish blue gold tone.
I think
it's a purplish gold tone, I believe. But
you've been a lot of years.
We're all looking up Bible Man right now.
It's like a yellow lightsaber. It's like a yellow glow lightsaber.
It's a yellow lightsaber.
But I mean,
and he's got a purple and gold tone.
Purple and gold. theme. Yeah. That's amazing.
I mean, just to be clear, we've had Bible Man and Bill Gaither mentioned so
Yes,
far.
that's
I
right.
didn't
got a
know
theme
there was
going.
an animated show.
What? Is that new?
No,
I gotta go check that out.
I don't know.
Everybody get on Right Now Media. It's gotta be on.
Okay, well, that's enough about Bible Man. Let's.
We're really catering to a certain audience.
Just you.
He said
Just
PG,
kidding.
so we
Yeah.
went full PG.
My parental guardian tells me that I'm only allowed to watch Bible Man.
we're plugging into a new demographic.
It's exactly what this podcast needs.
All right. So when it comes to the crunchy part of this, if and when that happens, we'll just figure that out based on like what your character,
course,
like the
yeah.
harm plus and whatever. Like,
Yeah.
don't worry about that. I'll
Okay.
tell you. Yeah, that's just gonna be one of your like one of the things it has. So don't worry about that part of it. But just any of that stuff, just picture yourself as Bible Man.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna come next to our second character. And that's gonna be Maya. Now, Maya is a quirky and surprisingly knowledgeable friend with an uncanny affinity for anything supernatural. Her mind is brimming with tales of strange occurrences, both legendary and bizarre, making her an essential guide through tonight's adventures. So Maya, tell us about yourself.
What's the intro to every time Makala talks on this podcast?
Well, I had a different idea, but I don't know if it works.
Well, we made Bible Man
I had
work,
my
so
costume idea like a month, 2 months ago. Where have you guys all been?
I told you I had an idea,
Okay,
but
okay.
the backstory I had for it, I don't think it really fits with the character's description.
Force it
so
like a puzzle piece that doesn't go together.
okay, here's what I really wanted to do. Okay, so you know Kim Possible.
yes.
I was gonna be Rufus.
I knew you were going there. I knew you were going there. Imagine Kim Possible. Now,
Because
imagine
here's-
the
I'm
ride.
like, no, this, what are you talking about?
He
This
said
works.
you're a quirky kid.
Yeah.
Right, but he said I'm gonna be like the main. Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Rufus in the
here's-
background.
here's the
Rufus
thing.
is the main character.
Rufus
Here's
is
the
the
thing.
main
What
character.
are you talking
Kim,
about?
What have you been watching?
Here's the thing. I am Rufus because my group of who I think are really great friends, they're all like, you know, Kim Possible and Ron and you
And
know.
Bible Man.
And I got wrapped into being the naked mole rat.
Wait, so you didn't even want to be?
Well, that was just what was left over, and I think it's a cool option. But like,
You couldn't have done
I'm
She-Ra
more
or
naive.
something?
I'm more
Wait,
naive
Wayne?
to the fact
Wait,
of
Shigo?
She-Go. Sorry, you're right.
you know,
Sorry.
I'm thinking, oh,
That's
I'm
not
gonna
a
be like the
preteen
cool,
costume.
you know,
Tell-
sidekick character. I think it's cool.
I
My friends
think
are
it's
laughing
great.
behind my back. You
So
know,
what's
it's-
your carrot
it's fine.
costume? Just a naked
Yeah, I was just
rat
gonna say,
skin?
how did you put it together? Tell us what the
Well,
makeup of this
I was
is.
gonna say I would get like a nude colored dress. You know, make it a little more. I don't know,
Mole ratty?
preteeny, I guess. And then I would probably wear a
gosh.
bald cap just you know, to commit and
Are
some
you-
fake teeth.
Just be clear. So you're
And some
basically in a
fake teeth.
potato sack and a swim cap.
I was gonna
Basically,
say,
yeah.
Butt teeth.
Basically.
Because I'd be terrified if you tried to make it sexy.
And you know,
Oh.
like the hillbilly buck teeth,
Yeah,
you
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have fake teeth on too?
Yeah.
Oh, are you going?
I'm both.
You talk like him.
trick or treat at
To be fair, Rufus doesn't really talk that much, so
He talks like that in the show.
So I'm fully expecting your character to just be in the back mumbling different monster facts
Just-
through buck teeth. You're gonna have to consciously tell us if you're taking them off.
Go
to
like
talk.
get some toothpicks or something and put them in your lips so that
You have a
it'll-
retainer.
Yeah,
that you-
yeah. This is a great start. I'm excited. This is gonna be hilarious.
sorry.
Really, just quick aside, Monster Week's not about the person running Monster of the Week. It's about the characters and what they do.
Sure.
That's the beauty of it.
Fantastic.
Unlike D&D where it's so DM centered, this game really just exists for the players, and the DM is everything they're not. Like
Right.
just fills the other void. So
Right on.
the more fun you have with your character, the more fun I get to have with just random stuff that you run into.
Oh yeah.
And again, and have to build around. It's very much more of like almost an improv comedy game versus, you know, a scheduled, written out, you know,
Yeah.
game plan, which is the fun of it, the difference between that and D&D and stuff.
Absolutely.
So going to our next one, we're going to James. Now, James is a dedicated horror movie buff whose encyclopedic knowledge of folklore and monster hunting weapons him with useful insights and strategies for overcoming whatever challenges lie ahead. Now you're going to notice that's pretty similar to Maya in some ways. Maybe, I'll be interested to see what differentiation you guys make from each other, because both of you are supposed to know stuff.
Sure.
But like, why do you know stuff? What do you know? How do you know what's going to probably come out? Pretty interesting.
I think just describing my character is probably going to point out the major difference between the two of us. So James Rodriguez is a mall goth. And he talks like this, and his costume that he's wearing this Halloween is the Crow from the movie The Crow. And so which is funny because honestly, his normal attire is obviously the classic black with like black eyeliner, like everything's black. He dyes his hair black. Sometimes he'll do like some highlight bits in there that are like red or blue, but it's always kind of that dark gothy theme. So the Crow was kind of a no-brainer. He really didn't even have to do like that much to his whole look as it is. Just put on like an excess of white like makeup and stuff. And yeah, that's what he does. He loves horror. His parents, I like to think his parents don't know how much he watches. Like when it says, because you said you have like there's a home theater, which I think is his dad put in for like watching football and stuff. And then whenever his parents aren't home, he's popping a DVD that he got from a friend or something, or got from Blockbuster or something like that, and watching some horror movie that he's technically not allowed to be watching. Same with The Crow. You should not have watched The Crow. That's rated R, but he did.
I don't think Kim
Possible
Possible
was
was either,
90s
so.
and 2000. We're
Again, this is
into the
I was gonna
2000s.
say, I don't
This is
think
the
Kim
childhood you
Possible
imagine,
existed
not-
either. So
Childhood you imagine, not the childhood you had.
Okay.
that works a lot better for us.
Because James has a lot of punk songs he's going to be referencing throughout this. So
So you really heard 90s to 2000. You said
Yeah.
2000. Okay, got
I
it.
have
Loud
spent the
and clear.
rest of the day listening to a 90s 2000s exclusive punk pop playlists.
To be honest, most
And
of us
emo pop.
remember the 2000s more than we would memorize
Yeah.
the
That's
90s.
that's really sad to hear.
I remember nothing.
I mean, I was born in 95, so
There wasn't like that much to experience
Yeah.
as an infant during the 90s, but the 2000s definitely.
yeah.
Some of us were born in 90, so we
Yeah.
remember a little.
You remember a lot.
Connor, were you even born in the 90s?
I was born in 98.
Oh, yeah.
I
Man,
am
this kid
a
with his
90s
skibbity
kid.
riz on the other end of the table.
See, and Maya's knowledge probably comes more from like the fantasy books than
Oh,
Okay.
see, Maya's the reader.
Horror movies,
James
yeah.
is the movies.
watcher.
Yeah.
Mine's the Bible.
You're
You
the
guys heard about that Samson guy? Pretty cool fella.
What did he do? Did he kill a whole bunch of people?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this dude sounds metal.
Pulled the roof down on him.
I don't know what that is. That a metaphor? Is
Literal.
That a euphemism?
Literal.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that
Why would it
sounds
not be Samson?
awesome.
I actually was thinking Samson, and then Skyler mentioned Bible Man. I was like, I'm 100% Bible Man. Like,
I feel like Samson brings a different vibe. Like,
I was
I'll
gonna-
kill you
because
all if you make me angry.
I was thinking my character was nerdy, and so Samson was just like it didn't feel right. And I was
The
thinking,
scrawny
I was
kid
thinking
is
the
just-
first thing I thought of when I read this was a knight, but I was like, okay, knight, yeah. But so when he said religious, he said Bible Man. I was like, oh, done. That's like a knight. It's literally a knight. So I was like, it fit me perfectly.
Nate, I will say one thing that I was a little bit concerned about. You
Yep.
mentioned that we have
Quote
whatever
it,
our
essentially.
costume would realistically
Yeah.
suggest, and the Crow carries a 44 Magnum revolver. So, I wasn't sure where you wanted to rule on that. It's probably a Nerf gun. let's be
Parents wouldn't
honest.
leave. Yeah, it's a Nerf gun.
It's a Nerf
yeah.
gun.
Nerf gun.
And he personally spray painted it black.
Yeah, but your dad actually got mad about it and
Yeah,
made
oh,
you
yeah.
put the orange tip back onto it.
Yeah, exactly. He said, "You're not taking that to school." Absolutely not.
We're not having a repeat of
No.
We're not having a repeat of 6th grade.
No. What happened in 6th grade? You know, it's funny you say that because I did have this whole idea that James is actually pretty new in town. And because of whether it's an issue involving James himself or just like his dad had to move them or whatever the case. Yeah, James is fairly new in town.
Okay. So there was actually some other characters that I made that were built around some other different play sheets that were a little bit more like they're newer ones that people made. And I decided not to go with it because I just wanted to keep it really basic. But one of them is the troublemaker.
Yeah.
So the entire theme of it was a prankster that just does weird stuff. And it would always kind of like a bag of tricks kind of thing. Like always has the thing he needs to like do something stupid.
Yeah.
But that character actually fits pretty well with some of that idea of, you know,
He's gonna be a
this
problem.
guy.
This guy.
And that brings us to our last character, probably in some ways our least character, but I assume will be our most fun character. That's a joke about the character class, the Mundane. But this is Ella. So Ella, introduce yourself.
Oh, Ella doesn't get a backstory. Oh.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. I was going to let you do your own
That's how
thing.
mundane she is.
Ella sucks.
There's these three interesting characters, and then there's Ella.
All right,
You gotta have some ballads. Come on.
dear leaders, dear listeners, please listen to this background and you tell us in the comments, wherever you so choose to comment, does Ella actually suck? Ella is a self-proclaimed skeptic who craves a typical Halloween filled with candy and fun. Her grounded nature might provide balance to the chaos, but she also finds herself questioning everything that happens around them. So,
She's the straight man of the group.
yeah, the Ella definitely just wants things to be normal. Why can't they be normal?
Please let this
Ella is a solid balance to this situation. I'm excited for it. I agree with Nate. Ella does not suck. Ella is perfect for this situation. Ella is a necessity.
And in some ways, Ella's the friend you need, right?
Yeah.
You do like crazy weird stuff, and you know you're your average 12-year-old, and you need a friend to be like, hey, I don't really want to get in trouble.
Ella, get in trouble for
into
me.
this spooky Halloween party.
So Ella, tell us about yourself. What's your costume and etc.
Well, I imagine Ella as, now that you mentioned her very milquetoast backstory, I imagine her as like a really kind of whiny sort of, kind of like what's his name, Arnold from Magic School Bus, that kind of kid. And on that same vein,
I thought you were gonna say the train guy from Polar Express.
oh no,
He's just nerdy.
He's nerdy.
Yeah.
Arnold's like the whiny nerd.
Yeah.
And
Always
in that
scared
same
of
vein,
everything.
she is in a
Yeah.
Miss Frizzle costume.
Oh,
Complete
That's great.
with barbell and 4 Olympic weights on each side, because Miss Frizzle very famously was benching 405 for reps in the Magic School Bus.
Really?
She is canonically yoked. So she's got this big like Miss Frizzle wig. I would imagine that she's speaks in, you know, guys, I don't know, that kind of, this sort of voice. Either that or Valley Girl. I can only do 2 really voices
for a girl.
for a girl. Like, whatever, guys. Like, I don't know.
You're just gonna have to pick one and lock it in.
I feel like as a skeptic, she's gonna be the Valley Girl,
Oh,
the
all right.
skeptical Valley Girl.
Okay.
Do you have a toy lizard?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She's like Chelsea from Fish Hooks. Girl, you just dropped something. My jaw. that is going to be Ella Gray.
I love that.
All right. So just to get you some intro, because you know each of us has a character, each of us has a costume. I'm actually kind of ad-libbing this. So I'm gonna go. If you guys flip over your sheets, you're gonna find in there's a little section quickly about history. So I realized here that each of you guys has a pretty cool story. Something that you kind of came up with on the fly. One of the great things about Monster of the Week. But we haven't really established like why we're together. You know, I'm starting you together. You're about to start trick or treating, but in the history section of Monster Week, there is a short little ability to go around as a group. Now, on each of your turns, and we'll come back from the top, going from Alex, and I want you to pick one of these. So, just really quickly, I'm going to read through them, just give a quick overview of what these backgrounds can be. But one of them is your close blood relations. Ask them exactly how close. So, the way this would work in play would be Alex would say, all right, I'm cousins with, or I am related to you. And then the person that you say that to says, okay, and we're cousins. Like, so it's a two-part way of making a connection with each other. The next one would be they're destined to be your mentor. Tell them how this was revealed. It seems kind of weird, but go with it if you need to. Your best friend in the world who you trust totally. So you get to say. Now the fun part about that is you get to say they're your best friend. They don't have to agree. So if you're the one friend that maybe is a little more attached than the others, the next one is a rival at first, but you come to a working arrangement. Romantic entanglement, maybe stay away. It's a PG, it's a PG podcast. Just friends from school or work or something. Ask them what, how do you know each other? Maybe you do karate together. I don't know. They could have been the chosen one instead of you, but they failed some trial. That seems a little heavy. Maybe we're not trying to find Halloween Jesus. I don't know.
I don't know. Bible Man might be.
You saved their life back when they didn't know monsters were real, or are they? Tell them what you saved them from. So I will start off the top with Alex. Alex, pick one of these and just establish a background quickly.
One of the ones you named or one from mine?
Just one from your sheet.
Okay.
So I went through, just really
one.
quick, I went through the sheet of The Chosen. The Chosen's obviously a pretty, heavy one. Each character is going to have a slightly different version of that with their own kind of backgrounds. I want you to follow what it says on the sheet.
Do you want me to pick one for each member of the group?
Nope, just pick one person.
Okay,
just, you're going to be interconnected.
They're
right?
the person you go to for advice on mortal stuff. And so it gives me some examples of very adult themed stuff, but I'm going to go with the comic book theme, and I'm going to go with Skyler's character. James. Because I can't get comic books. But how do I get these comic books? Well, the punk kid who's allowed to watch rated R movies also likes comic books and thinks it's really cool that he's giving Daredevil comics to the Christian kid.
Let me slide a couple.
Just to be clear, I'm pretty sure most semi-religious middle schoolers probably have this friend.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gives them access to stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But on the flip, he also sees James as like a little too edgy, and he's like, I need to save him because he's clearly not a Christian. So like, he needs me to show him the way, the truth, the light. But I need him for comic books.
He needs Jesus, but I need Daredevil.
Exactly.
All right, I love it.
That's pretty good.
So that takes us to our next character, Maya. Pick one of the ones from your sheet, read it, and tell us who it is, how it applies. And if as you're doing, make sure to make a little note of who that relationship is with, just so you have an idea. Again, this doesn't have to fit everybody; it just has to fit one other person. The weird little things that bind you all together.
Because these are pretty interpretive.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, it's like it can say one thing, and you can kind of like adjust the interpretation of it.
Guys, we're playing pretend on the radio with
Yeah, exactly.
friends to acquaintances. It's okay. We can make other stuff.
There's a lot of yes and.
Yeah, we can make more stuff up.
I'm going to say that I'm going to go with the old friends who originally met through a long chain of coincidences.
Okay.
I'm going to say that with Ella, because I feel like our chain of coincidences were, like my friends at school, there was no room at the table, so me and Ella sat next to each other because Ella's kind of boring and people... You know what I mean?
You're telling me
we were kind of like the outcasts together,
Oh, okay.
Just different coincidences led us together of, my friends were like, oh, sorry, we didn't have room at the table for you today. Or, I don't know, meet up. But I don't think the library would work. Maybe it would.
Maybe.
But I don't know, just things like that.
So who's actually the cooler? Like, who do you think is the cooler one between the two of you?
Me.
No question.
Ella, who does Ella think is the cooler between the two of you?
Ella's the cooler one. She's
This honestly
so
makes
cool.
sense.
Someone else came to sit with her.
I mean, there you go.
She didn't have to go chasing. And then we talked about like model trains and, the perfect temperature to cook toast at. Everything is exciting as toast. And she kept coming back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just
Love
listened.
Yeah, toast. Yeah. Oh,
just
yeah,
go
butter.
with it,
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Like butter fries different on bread than like mayonnaise,
Oh, yeah.
olive oil.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of interesting stuff.
Okay, I'm really loving that little that you can do after everything. You should probably just keep that.
It's like you're unsure about what you just said.
Like, if that's a conscious
What else
decision
goes
of a
on
character,
toast?
I think you need to ham that up even more. I love it. So in the interest, we'll keep moving. James, tell us about your random connection.
All right, so I got mine picked out, but one at a time. They once helped you get a singular item that is now part of your haven Tell them what it is. So first of all, I'm going to pick Maya as the other kind of quirky, weird person. It was a My Chemical Romance CD that I couldn't get because my parents were keeping a pretty close eye on me, but it had just come out and it was a really big deal. Like, I'm not going to not listen to the Black Parade for hours on end over and over and over again, like every other mall goth that I'm hanging out with, which isn't any. I don't think there's any mall goths in this group, but I go to the mall and I pretend that I'm hanging out with other mall goths at the Hot Topic there. I don't know. I probably just talk to the employees. Anyways, so yeah. So Maya made sure that I got a hold of that My Chemical Romance CD, and so I really appreciate her for that. And yeah, and I think on occasion we maybe bond a little bit over some pop punk music.
Yeah.
And that brings us to, again, not least, but last. Ella, what's your connection to somebody else other than the pre-existing lunch connection?
Other than good friends with Maya.
Good.
Good.
Good friends. We're great
As
friends.
far as she's concerned,
We're best friends. I don't.
grab one and just.
Yeah, I don't think that any of those would really actually work. So I would like to think that myself and Alex over here,
Okay.
we're just like, I think we're blood related. I'm just his super boring cousin that he has to be around. Otherwise, like, his mom is gonna just chew him out. It's like, if you're gonna go trick-or-treating, you better take Ella with you.
She doesn't have many friends.
She doesn't have many friends. Just be nice. Just let her come with you. You'll survive. It's one night. That kind of deal.
I love the idea that Alex sees her as it's just like that girl from Arrested Development, who just completely forgets about Ella's existence, like, constantly.
Oh, so I'm George Michael, and
You're
I
George
keep forgetting about his girlfriend.
What's her name?
I keep thinking Mayo Egg, but that's not her name.
Is it like Elizabeth or something? I don't know. That's the funny thing
Anne.
about it is Anne. Yes,
It's
thank
Anne.
you. It's Anne. And yeah, so he's just like, who? And she's like,
Ella.
dude, Ella.
Where's Ella? And he's like, Ella.
Ella. Yeah.
Which is funny because I was thinking for Halloween as well. For what got me on this trip is I really wanted to go to trick or treating, but like, this is the early 2000s, so this is when trick or treating with Christians is like still like
Kind of iffy.
and
Yeah.
stuff. But like I think of him as my best friend. James really is like, he keeps every year tells me about trick or treating, all the candy and stuff, and like the idea of dressing up as a superhero is like, that's like the dream for Alex. And so come Halloween time, he's begging his parents, please let me go trick or treating, please let me go trick or treating, and they're like, fine, but only if you can represent God in some way, be the light. And I'm like, I'll be Bible man.
It's
So
kind of a win-win.
I'm a beacon in the darkness. So
Nice.
no,
Go
whatever.
with your cousin Ella.
And
she
then they're
can
like,
make
and
sure
then
you
bring
stay out
Ella
of
too.
trouble.
And I'm like, okay, fine, I guess.
Two stipulations.
I'm fine. I'll take both of them. So that's how I got in with James on Halloween. I had to take Ella, but I get to be Bible man. And
So-
then I don't know how we insert.
Yeah. So is Maya just hanging out with Ella, so you just come along?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah. I was gonna
So,
say either you're hanging
yeah.
out with Ella or else, we
Yeah.
might have had a connection or something. Just because, like I said, I feel like to some extent we're friends after the My Chemical Romance
Yeah.
CD situation.
So really cool thing with this, and something that comes out of Monster of the Week when you do this, is without having to force it, everyone kind of builds these bonds. So you look at this, 4 people, everyone has 2 bonds to another character that just kind of happened organically, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason why these kids are together, and it's not forced, but it's not, it's just
Well,
a
it might
bunch
be
of-
forced
yeah.
for 2 of them.
Yeah, it's for it's narrative. It might be forced, by character decision, but it's not narratively forced, right?
Right.
This is a completely normal group of preteens that would be forced to go spend a few hours
Yeah.
together on Halloween. So not to push it too hard, but that's one of
Yeah.
the fun things with this game, right? Like, it sets itself up to breathe a little bit. So with all that being said, we've introduced our characters. We know how they've been, interconnected with each other. We kind of have an idea where their costumes are. Again, not getting too heavy with the crunchy stuff or, any of the other stuff you can get into if you want to. But we are, and I'm going to read kind of the setting introduction, setting the scene.
Oh yeah.
So this is, act 1, this whole one shot is called Trick or Treat, Fear or Flee. So the setting is, you're a regular suburban town during Halloween night. Shadows loom larger than life, and every corner beckons with the promise of adventure. So, as the sun dips below the horizon, the scent of fallen leaves mixes with the crisp, chill air of October that dances playfully along the streets. The vibrant hues of jack-o'-lanterns flicker into life, painting the darkening world in glowing shades of orange and yellow. You and your friends, clad in ghostly costumes, excitement bubbling within you, set out for your night of trick-or-treating. This year, however, feels peculiar. Is it that you are each a year older, finding yourself closer to being too cool for trick-or-treating? Is it the extra tales whispered among children and adults about a local legend of a haunted house? Is it the local troublemaker, the local busybody, Ms. Douglas, who is a not quite octogenarian, but you have no idea how old, she's just old, that tells everyone that, trick-or-treating is getting more dangerous. Every time you hear about it, she has a different story about something bad that happened to somebody. And to her, every time she talks to your parents, it seems like she's saying, well, maybe we should just tone it down this year.
Thank you all for joining us for another episode of our 2024 Halloween season one-shot, continuing our annual tradition of our Hunter's Haven Monster of the Week series. We hope you are enjoying it. If you are, we encourage you to check out some of our other series, such as our Avatar Legends long-term campaign, Benders and Brews, which is set in the world of Avatar The Last Airbender, or our Dungeons & Dragons long-term series, Criminals of Isla Numas. If you're looking for more spooky Halloween fun, you can check out last year's Hunter Haven series, Music Mayhem, which was written and run by Cameron, who's playing our character Alex in this series. Whatever you listen to next, be sure to follow or subscribe to the Session Zero Heroes podcast on your preferred streaming platform. You can find us everywhere from Apple Podcasts to Spotify to YouTube. Following the show ensures you don't miss out on any of our other upcoming series and one-shots. And if you're on a platform that allows you to comment, like, or rate the show, it would mean a lot to us if you'd take the time to leave us that feedback, as it helps us grow and produce better content. Another way to keep up with what we're doing is to follow us on social media, whether that be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Discord, or all of the above. It's a great way to keep up on our upcoming episodes as well as other fun news and content from us. We appreciate you taking a listen. Don't forget, this series will be releasing a new episode weekly until the last one, which will air on Halloween. So be sure to swing back to get the exciting conclusion to this Hunter's Haven series. See you next time.